Yes, thank you, Evie. So, there can be only one truth, the only solution that can help agree with Luxembourg and Netherlands idea of United Nations, which is the founding principle of the committee, which we forgot sadly. To summarize, it feels like delegates are just rebranding like hands together are now hearts broken.
The delegate of Republic of Korea has observed domestic reflection and regulation of PMSCs and expects this spirit to continue in that regard, and it also expects the committee members to show the same support for resolution proposed accepted.
Parliament inquiry. Will the board be entertaining a motion to extend the moderated powers?
Develop an international regulatory framework for PMSCs. This could involve all the countries coming together to agree upon common standards and norms and regulations so that we have easier international code of conduct for PMSCs and increase transparency and reporting. Another solution is to increase transparency and reporting. This could involve requiring PMSCs to report on their activities and ensure that they are meeting certain standards. Governments should also be required to report on their use of PMSCs and oversight mechanisms and any instances of human rights violations or misconduct by PMSCs, establishing an independent oversight authority. An independent oversight authority tasked with regulating the activities on PMSCs and ensuring that they abide by relevant international laws and standards could be established. Strengthening existing accountability and mechanisms. Government should strengthen existing national and add international accountability mechanisms and ensure that they are applied to PMSCs. This could involve holding governments and PMSCs accountable for human rights abuses and violations and providing appropriate compensations for the victims. Training and education. Thank you.
In line with national and international law by obtaining information on the main services provided by the company in the past and reference certificates, activating oversight and ensuring accountability by including in its national legislation criminal jurisdiction of the state over what is committed by the PMCs and non-criminal accountability in the event of improper and illegal behavior, including immediate or gradual termination of the contract and application of penalties ignoring future contract requests and not to grant the contracting state some kind of judicial immunity for these companies. Once again, as mentioned earlier, putting the regulations of PMCs in their own hands leads to the high risk of lack of transparency and accountability with respect to international laws. The overall economic and human cost of conflict could be hidden under the rug from the state and public. Thank you.
Thank you for opposing. Kids.
First, civil society engagement. Involve civil society organizations, human rights groups, and affected communities in the regulatory processes. Their input and involvement can provide valuable insights, ensure representation, and contribute to the monitoring and evaluation of the PMSC activities. One way of making human rights legally binding on private military companies is by construing them as paid agents and also to write human rights obligations directly into the contracts concluded with these regulations. If a PMC is deployed in a region where a state's armed forces are already active, the licensing regime could provide for an extension of that state's normal military jurisdiction so that violations of IHL and IHRL can be dealt effectively on the spot. Moreover, it can be argued that since states have an obligation under Article 1, common to the 4 Geneva Conventions, to ensure respect for those conventions, they must ensure that these companies and their employees are trained in international humanitarian law, even if the state has to offer to provide such training.
For violations by private actors have not been directly provided under the IHM. The only reference to such a concept can be found in the ICRC commentary to Article 91 of Additional Protocol 1, which says that a party to a conflict which violates the Geneva Conventions or protocol is required to pay a compensation. The commentary provides, but without much authoritative support, that a state will be similarly responsible for the violations of a private actor if the state has not taken preventive or repressive measures as such reasonably be expected to be taken under the circumstances. Hence, France believes that the treaty that is being proposed in the committee must address this by clearly laying down the responsibilities of a state hiring PMCs. Operations conducted by PMCs do not, unlike traditional armed forces, have an obligation to report to the states. Hence, PMCs should be made more accountable by the states and must be required to fully or at least partially disclose its operational information upon states' request. States could also make approval for every contract depending in the nature or proposed activities and situations in the countries where PMCs operate.
Like mentioning the names, like you have counted the numbers.
Definitely. A delegate of UAE. But if you are going to the 8th speaker, then you have to summarize or conclude the.
Are increasingly dependent on humanitarian aid. In Saudi Arabia, the National Commission on International Humanitarian Law has various functions. The Commission develops military curricula in accordance with that of the international humanitarian law. At the civilian level, the Commission promotes a culture of international humanitarian law in cooperation with various governmental and national bodies and institutions. In addition, the Commission gives effect to the conventions ratified by the Kingdom in the same domain. It should be noted that the community periodically endeavors to join conventions pertaining to international humanitarian law, enhances cooperation exchange with national and international bodies, and qualifies individuals to training programs. We must make use of the UNHRC mandate to the fullest extent by recommending international bodies such as the World Bank to take necessary actions in accordance with their mandates. According to Clause 45 of Report on UNCTAD assistance, this violence must stop. Allahu Akbar.
With reports of mass atrocities and human rights violations. The conflict has also had severe economic consequences, with many businesses and infrastructures being destroyed. The people of Tigray are facing food and water shortages, and many have been displaced from their homes. As UAE and the UNHRC, we must take immediate action to address this crisis. Firstly, we must work towards an immediate ceasefire and end to the violence. We must also provide humanity towards a long-term solution to address the root cause of this conflict. This includes engaging in dialogue with the economy and provide livelihoods for the people of Tigray. This could include investment in infrastructure and support for small businesses. We cannot ignore the suffering of the people of Tigray any longer. Thank you.
Yes.
Between the Prime Minister and the President, the Cabinet regarding the invocation of emergency. Can that expression be done during that meeting, because we can't restrict opinions?
Only through the form of words only.
Only through form of words.
Yes. Not written or
Sir, you
discussed.
said words can be written.
Marker, Ravi. Sitting in the back. Okay, I know that you have some obstructions, but yes. A duster also was there, yeah. It was there in that room. social justice is at 50, politics is at 50. Alright. As a committee, what the executive board looks at is whether will we or will we not touch 100. But I would leave it to your individual self to decide whether you have to take it to 100 or whether you think by putting it lower will help you. Since you are in emergency, see what benefits your political mileage. Are you all understanding? So if it is a very good speech, we think that, oh yeah, this will economically contribute, this may increase. It may be from BJP side, Congress side, or third front side. If you think that, yeah, because of this there may be good some, or shall we make social justice law and order?
Yes, sir. Public order.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, public order means, or rule of law, it includes everything. No, actually, they formed their own alliances, out of which, because it was a coalition government of sort, I can say that economy now stands at, now of course we didn't select it, 25. Rule of law will be 35. Politics will be 85. Because it was a grand coalition of people with multiple ideologies. But if you see, the economy index, rule of law index came down. So similarly, from now on, every speech of yours will have an impact on these three indicators. But I will leave it to you as to whether you think by taking it to 100 it will be of some help to you, or whether by dipping it down it will be of some help to you. Any questions, any doubts, any points of information? All clear? And both of us on the executive board will be amending it accordingly. So now it stands at 50, 50, 50. From here, I will leave it to the committee whether to increase or decrease. Yes.
Sir, so in our speeches, we have to maintain our stance on what we want to be increased and what we want to decrease.
Your call.
No, basically.
Increasing it, decreasing it is only a persuasive in nature, as to see what is your role. But, or did it improve the situation, or did it decrease the situation? Now, yesterday they came together. It had an impact. With a good impact, bad impact, we'll be judging them on that. And the committee will take a direction. But what exactly it is? First button is for Rahul.
మోదీ అన్న చాలా మంచి పని చేశారు ఎమర్జెన్సీ డిక్లేర్ చేసి ప్రెసిడెంట్ వాళ్ళ సపోర్ట్తో. బట్ కానీ ఆర్టికల్ 352 అండర్ సబ్ క్లాస్లోనే ఉంది ఏమి ప్రెసిడెంట్ షల్ obtain the written advice of the cabinet headed by the PM అని ఉంది. సో మా కన్సెంట్ మా క్యాబినెట్ని ఎవరు అడగలేదు, అట్లే ఎమర్జెన్సీ డిక్లేర్ చేశారు. ఎందుకంటే దానికోసము ఈ వ్యాలిడే కాదు ఈ ఎమర్జెన్సీ. అలాగే ఈ మళ్ళీ ఇలా చేస్తున్నారంటే మా మీదే వీళ్ళకి నమ్మకం లేదు. ఎందుకంటే చూడండి కేజ్రీవాల్ కానీ లేదా కేసీఆర్ కానీ వీళ్ళకి పవర్ ఇచ్చారు కానీ మాకు ఇవ్వట్లేదు. అంటే మా క్యాబినెట్ మీదే నమ్మకం లేదా వీళ్ళకి. ఎందుకంటే ఇది బ్యూరోక్రాట్స్కి పవర్ ఇచ్చారు మమ్మల్ని ఇడిసి. అంటే బ్యూరోక్రాట్స్ మీద ఉన్న నమ్మకం కూడా వాళ్ళ క్యాబినెట్ మీద లేకపోతే అది సరికాదు. అందుకోసం ప్రెసిడెంట్ గారిని రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను ఏమంటే వీఆర్ రిక్వెస్టింగ్ ద ప్రెసిడెంట్ అట్లీస్ట్ గివ్ ద పవర్ ఆఫ్ ద క్యాబినెట్ బ్యాక్, otherwise it will remain as a black mark in the Indian democracy forever.
Sir, we don't mind giving the cabinet positions back to the cabinet ministers. We will definitely do, but given the fact that the cabinet ministers have lost their power at this particular juncture, we have received reports from the respective ministries and the secretaries involved to them as to there being a failure of constitutional machinery. Sir, Mr. Home Minister has received reports, especially from the Intelligence Bureau. The Defence Ministry has received information from the Defence Secretary regarding failure of constitutional machinery. Sir, under the scope of Article 352, there is no requirement or necessity for the actual internal disturbance or the armed rebellion to happen. If there is a possibility of us, then and there we have the provision to do so. Sir, it has been clearly laid down by the statement of one of the constitutional heads yesterday that they will bomb another constitutional head, which clearly embarks the failure of law and order in the state, which is a clear provocation of public order to be disrupted, which will effectively result in constitutional failure of the state. We are not claiming that there is political instability. We are claiming that there is a failure of constitutional machinery, because of which we are pushed to this particular decision.
There's hope in the air, hence 5 points increase. Next we have Asaduddin.
Just a clarification from the executive board with respect to your speech. So did you mean that due to the failure of constitutional machinery, national emergency has been imposed?
We believe that
failure of constitutional
machinery in the state.
Who is failing constitutional machinery here is a question I would like to pose in this committee. Sir, I know that the Prime Minister is more interested in tearing the constitution than reading it. Does he know the fact that Article 352 does not lay out constitutional machinery as one of the failure of constitutional machinery as one of the grounds? It is three things. One is threatened by war, external aggression or armed rebellion. Sir, the entire reason why this emergency was brought about is simple. Yesterday the slogan was 2024 BJP once more. Now what face will they go and show to the public? Literally cabinet ministers, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh resigned and left yesterday. They will not be able to win elections. They are using the Gujarat formula here because they essentially want to create riots, especially in a state like in a city like mine, which is why, sir, it is a fact that their MPs have given statements like Hindus should put knives in their home, Hindus should do this, Hindus should protect themselves. That is why entire Charminar is going to come out, go to Shadab, eat biryani, celebrate Hindu-Muslim unity, make sure that riots don't happen, to make sure that BJP does not come to power in national arena. I'm sorry sir, my voice is gone.
The people of this country are at risk, the minorities especially are at risk, the Muslims are at risk, and I am committed in support with Mr. Asad in OSC. And also, it was not a failure of constitutional machinery, it was a blunder, a joke of the constitution which happened yesterday, and all the people here let this joke happen. And debating on this topic itself, it was arbitrary and not necessary. And also, the people in the south are extremely disappointed at what the north is doing. We will need to go autonomous if this is going to happen. And also, we will need to ensure a Dravida Nadu in this country to promote welfare of the people who actually want development in this country and not the BJP or the Rashtriya Samaj Party. Thank you.
See a secession that is being demanded by Siddaramaiah. Rule of law stands at a glaring 15. Remember that minute any of it touches 0, BJP, everyone gets a -3 on their score. And if you don't, if BJP is touching 100 in even one of the parameters, you will all be getting -3. Alright, next we have Sunny Deol.
सर, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की बहुत पुरानी आदत है खाली बोलने की और काम नहीं करने की। सर, मोदी इतना कुछ बोलते हैं, इन्हें ये क्या जरूरत थी इमरजेंसी डिक्लेयर करने की, जबकि इमरजेंसी खाली एक्सटर्नल एग्रेशन ऑफ वॉर या आर्म्ड रिबेलियन पे हो सकती है। सर, पॉलिटिकल इंस्टेबिलिटी के ऊपर कौन अपने देश के लोगों को, कौन अपने देश को अपने देश को बर्बाद करना चाहेगा? ये है मोदी गवर्नमेंट हमारी। सर, इन्हें खाली हिंदू मुस्लिम करना आता है, इन्हें खाली हिंदू मुस्लिम करना आता है। हमारे प्रिय योगी जी शशि थरूर जी को कहते हैं कि मैं तुम्हें बॉम्ब से उड़ा दूंगा, मेरे पार्टी में आ जाओ। सर, क्या ये हमारे देश में चलेगा? नहीं चलेगा ये देश में। ये देश हम सब का है, ये देश ना हिंदुओं का है ना मुस्लिम का है, ये देश हम सब का है। हिंदू को मुस्लिम से लड़ाने से कुछ नहीं होगा। ये बोलते हैं कि टीपू सुल्तान जयंती नहीं मनाई जाएगी। सर, जब शिवाजी महाराज के लिए जयंती मनाई जा सकती है तो टीपू सुल्तान के लिए क्यों नहीं?
थैंक यू। Earlier he asked for Dravida Nadu, so the point basically went on for rule of law.
Emergency has been declared. Let us first take the example of emergency declared by the Indira Gandhi government. They gave reasons saying that there was political unrest and instability in the country, and we have seen this happening right now. as there were people of totally different ideology with totally different goals who have formed a party for personal benefit without any proper aim. Fun fact is that out of the 11 questions asked, the 7 which were agreed by both, the third member has not agreed any of the 7. Manipur and West Bengal are facing huge amounts of violence and riots. The number of deaths and damage is yet to be ascertained. Internet service has been cut off by about 60 and about 60 deaths have been reported. Around 3,200 CRPF personnel have been deployed. Indian Air Force has taken action and army and state government authorities have evacuated tens and thousands of civilians from the worst hit regions. Thus, we have declared emergency looking at the failure of constitutional machinery and presence of violence in the country. But unlike emergency declared by the Indira Gandhi government, we do not have any ulterior motives such as personal ambitions and so on.
Thank you. With this speech,
was in alliance with Indira Gandhi?
rule of law touches 20.
Who's in power now?
Politics will increase, no?
Who's in power now?
Politics increases to.
Who's in power now?
Politics increases to 20. Next we have Yogi Adityanath.
ಸರ್ ನನ್ನ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬ್ಯೂರೋಕ್ರಾಟ್ನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. It is because I have ensured through transfers and other machineries that my bureaucrats are the most capable bureaucrats in the country. My cabinet today is the strongest cabinet in the country, and I implore other states, I implore KCR, I implore Mr. Arvind Kejriwal to look at UP and learn how to administer even in such dire situations. It is because of my efforts to make the bureaucracy strong. Today the cabinet which has been replaced by the bureaucrats, it is the most perfect and it is the closest to being efficient bureaucracy even in such dark times as the national emergency. And to people who are saying that I threaten people of bombing them, I never made that statement ever. I invited people to my state out of hospitality. We all know who made the claims of bombs outright, verbally, and we all, yes, and that is what has initiated this situation.
Yeah.
You will only do it.
Meanwhile, rule of law 30.
Excuse me, sir, can you just the volume?
మీకు వేరే ఎవరు దొరకలేదు.
ఎక్కడ తగ్గాలో కావాలి. ప్రిన్సిపల్ సెక్రటరీ, చీఫ్ సెక్రటరీ, జాయింట్ సెక్రటరీ చేస్తారని చెప్పారు కదా సార్. ఐ మీన్ ఆ డిపార్ట్మెంట్లో ఉండే బ్యూరోక్రాట్స్ చేస్తారని చెప్పారు. ఇట్ మీన్స్ డైరెక్ట్ పవర్ వచ్చినా లేకపోతే మినిస్టర్స్ వీళ్ళకి డెలిగేట్ చేసినట్టు ఆ పవర్.
What did I tell you? You are in an emergency. An emergency, is there anything called as delegation of powers? Is there existence of ministry? Is there a dissolution of cabinet?
Yes, it can be.
There's no
Not yet, it's not going. Not here.
Here there is.
Is there dissolution of cabinet?
No.
In the center? Then what is emergency? What is emergency?
Sir, అదొక సిచ్యువేషన్.
What is emergency?
Sir, emergency is a thing when like it is implemented when it is having a national threat or a national.
Which article of the constitution speaks about emergency? What does it say?
National security ఏదైనా థ్రెట్ ఉన్నప్పుడు.
Is it just national security?
Armed rebellions, national security లేకపోతే.
What disturbance?
అంటే బేసిక్గా సార్.
What disturbance?
Harmony. I mean disturbing the harmony of the country.
No, what disturbance does it say? 352.
అంటే బేసిక్గా ఏంటంటే అంటే పని ఎవరైతే ఎవరి ఇన్వాల్వ్మెంట్ లేకుండా కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ బాడీస్ ఒకటి కలిసి ఐ మీన్ ఈ ఉన్న సిచ్యువేషన్ ని ఓవర్కమ్ చేయడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది సార్.
What will be the role of politicians at that time?
సార్ పొలిటీషియన్స్ వర్క్ అనేది పాలిటిక్స్ చేయకుండా నేషనల్ వెల్ఫేర్ గురించి పనిచేయాలి.
Will politicians have a role during emergency?
No. Okay, sure.
What is model code of conduct?
Sir. Model code of conduct is how a politician behaves, or how a chief minister or how a prime minister behaves during the time of elections.
Will they have any executive powers at that time?
No, only constitutional powers will be having.
Next we have Amit Shah.
Me?
What are you?
Respected President, you may all know how the national emergency in 1975 issued by then Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi was an act of selfishness for their own purpose, and unfortunately the same traits have been continued to the same generations, the following generations. This is shame that the members believe that this national emergency is of no use. It has been raised for the nation's own safety, not for our personal greed. Seeing the political tension in this house after KTR pulled off a Rohit Shetty level stunt yesterday, making their own party, the IB reported to the Home Secretary about the several disruptions in Telangana, sir. So, Rahul Gandhi said that the Congress works for public services, but when Indira Gandhi was there, they made the national emergency and everything else they did for their own service, sir. Sir, the Congress knows only how to use buttery words just to criticize the opposition, sir. Thank you.
तुमने बोलने के अलावा क्या कर लिया?
काम तो किया, तू तो बस ढाई
BJP speaking about emergency, that they were the main reason for this political instability. Honestly, I've heard a lot from these leaders, and I don't get why they're talking about this stability. They're defending themselves. I haven't seen one person talk about what they will do in this emergency. I haven't seen one reform, one solution to this emergency. And everyone emphasizing on the 1975 emergency. So let's talk about this emergency. What has Congress done to avoid this? There were trade unions, there were worker rights, there were inflation and price controls, there were tax policies. Everything Congress has done to avoid this. There were anti-detention laws, there was so much. But has one BJP leader talked about what they will do if the emergency passes? Has one BJP leader? Yogi Adityanath talking about administration of his own state when there is youth rioting all over the state and police silencing them with their canes.
Thank you.
Just have to say yes or no.
Alright.
Should bureaucrats be made the final decision holder in India?
No.
Raise your placards. How many are going for no?
What do you mean by bureaucrats?
Should bureaucrats be made the final decision holder in India?
No. How many of you will say yes? How many of you will say no?
The Article 352, we mainly said that the speeches and the stands taken yesterday were the reflection of the failure of constitutional machinery. So, Mr. OSC, you should not twist the word like your alliances. The political disturbances which has happening now. So there is a need of national emergency in order to maintain the cooperation and for the need of people. This is not the emergency which has happened in the period of Indira Gandhi in 1975. But this emergency will be for the purpose of the people and national integration. So we ensure the safety and security of our nation, and we cannot sit and do nothing. So we will safeguard the interest of the people and uphold the principles of our democratic and constitutional framework.
Jai Shri Ram! Jai Shri Ram! Jai Shri Ram! Jai Shri Ram!
That's wonderful. Sir, Indira Gandhi time lo ilanti oka, I mean, she said Indira Gandhi time lo emergency anedi ila pettaledu, but emergency వచ్చింది armed rebellions గురించి sir. What? Sir, I mean, national security గురించి కదా sir, అప్పుడు emergency పెట్టింది Indira Gandhi.
Indira Gandhi didn't impose emergency like that, but she imposed emergency like this.
Sir, proper గా frame చేయడానికి రావాలి. Quote and quote.
Okay, తెలుగులో చెప్పండి, నేను help చేస్తాను.
Sir, Indira Gandhi
నేషనల్ సెక్యూరిటీ వల్ల పెట్టలా, ఆమె పొలిటికల్ ఇన్సెక్యూరిటీ వల్ల పెట్టింది.
మన కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం ఎమర్జెన్సీ డిక్లేర్ చేసింది అధ్యక్ష. అధ్యక్ష, ఇది ఎంత దిక్కుమాలిన మూవ్ అంటే అధ్యక్ష, దేశ రక్షణ గురించి, దేశ ప్రజల గురించి ఒక్కసారి కూడా ఆలోచించకుండా కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం ఎమర్జెన్సీ డిక్లేర్ చేసింది అధ్యక్ష. అధ్యక్ష, ఒప్పుకున్నాను అధ్యక్ష, దేశ ప్రజల ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్స్ ఎమర్జెన్సీ ఇంపోజ్ చేయడం వల్ల వైలేట్ అవుతాయి అధ్యక్ష. కానీ కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం వాళ్ళ ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్స్ వైలేట్ అయినా దాని గురించి ఎటువంటి సేఫ్ గార్డ్ మెజర్స్ అయినా తీసుకుందాం, ఇప్పటి వరకు తీసుకోలేదు అధ్యక్ష. అండ్ కమింగ్ టు అదర్ థింగ్ అధ్యక్ష, ఈ ఎమర్జెన్సీ అనేది ఇంపోజ్ చేయడం వల్ల డిస్ట్రప్షన్ ఆఫ్ నార్మల్ లైఫ్, ఎకనామికల్ ఇంపాక్ట్, డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్, దాని తర్వాత నెగిటివ్ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ సోషల్ హార్మనీ, ఇన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉంటాయి అధ్యక్ష. ఇన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు కూడా అధ్యక్ష వీళ్ళు ఇంకా ఎమర్జెన్సీ అనేది ఉండాలనే కోరుకుంటారు కానీ జనాల బావ గురించి ఇప్పటిదాకా ఎప్పుడు ఆలోచించలేదు అధ్యక్ష. అండ్ కమింగ్ టు the constitutional duties of a chief minister, and in my state అధ్యక్ష, కోవిడ్ టైంలో అధ్యక్ష నేను రాజకీయం చేయాలనుకుంటే వీళ్ళకన్నా బాగా చేయగలుగుతాను అధ్యక్ష. కానీ ఒక దేశ రక్షణ కోసం నా రాష్ట్ర ప్రజలకు ఏదైనా ఇబ్బంది వచ్చినప్పుడు అధ్యక్ష రాజకీయాన్ని పక్కన పెట్టి నేను మనిషిగా ముందుకు వస్తాను అధ్యక్ష. నేను రాజకీయం అవసరం ఉన్నప్పుడే చేశాను అధ్యక్ష, జనాలకు అవసరం ఉన్నప్పుడు రాజకీయం చేయను అధ్యక్ష. ఇంకా గట్టిగా మాట్లాడాలంటే అధ్యక్ష, నేను కోవిడ్లో చేసినంత ఒక సేవ దేశంలో ఎవరు చేయలేదు అధ్యక్ష. తెలంగాణ కోవిడ్ కంట్రోల్లో చాలా కష్టపడింది అధ్యక్ష. హెల్త్ కానీ, ఎకానమీ కానీ, డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ కానీ నా రాష్ట్రం మేనేజ్ చేసినట్టు ఏ రాష్ట్రం మేనేజ్ చేయలేదు అధ్యక్ష. రాజకీయం అనేది ఒక పాయింట్ వరకే ఉండాలి కానీ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఒక లైన్ దాటి అనేది వెళ్ళకూడదు అధ్యక్ష.
Across India did as good work as I did. We will. When it comes to the benefit of this nation and the benefit of law and order in this country, we will work for the welfare of the nation and not for political benefit. If I wanted to do politics, I would do it better than BJP.
Thank you.
I will first say that I will ask them how can they declare national emergency without the approval of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? With what grounds, you fools? If your impeccable mind is not aware of Article 355, it imposes a duty on the center to protect the state from external aggression and internal disturbances. By doing this national emergency, they are causing a great internal disturbance. Modi in his speech clearly said that the reason behind armed conflict is in failure of compliance with constitution. It is first of all not at all relevant because national emergency cannot be caused on the basis of failure in complying with constitution. He also mentioned regarding threats given of bombing, which his party members Piyush Goyal and Yogi Adityanath have given and none of the opposition members have given. 44th Amendment of the Constitution clearly says that armed rebellion or aggression is highly mere instigation of bombing does not classify to armed conflict, and mere instigation no national emergency cannot be declared, any national emergency. And China is a $16
Down BJP! Down BJP! Down BJP! Down BJP! Down BJP!
And we shall come back by 12:15. Let's break.
అక్కడ వాళ్ళు అప్పుడే బీటీ చేస్తున్నారు, వాళ్ళు 1 hour నుంచి పట్టుకుని కూర్చున్నారు. ఇక్కడ బయట ఒక పాప కనిపిస్తుంది.
లంచ్కి ఇందాక టీకి పంపించలేదా?
వీడియో బీటీ హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తారు.
Before we break for tea,
Can you repeat the question? Should reservation be completely eradicated while recruiting bureaucrats and only merit-based recruitment be encouraged?
No.
Delegates in favor.
System
Delegates.
repeat it. And I'll let you out. All right. The question is: should reservation be completely eradicated while recruiting bureaucrats and only merit-based recruitment be encouraged?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. All those who are in favor, raise your placards. All those in favor of this, please raise your placards. All right. I'll make it simple. All those in favor of eradication of reservation and focusing only on meritocratic-based recruitments, raise your placard. Alright, three votes who want reservation to be eradicated. Alright, 4 votes who want reservation to be eradicated. All those against? So 19. Are there any abstentions? No.
Sir, point of order. In older year 52 of replacing 44th Amendment.
What is it?
point of inquiry, sir, the delegate of Romania has recognized twice a day.
This, Arshad, this connect. Connect. Dishant, connect.
Can the resolution be sent in the WhatsApp group once ratified?
Not now.
Once ratified.
Will the ratification be executed by the chairman?
Yeah.
Before discussion starts. Like the day one ratification.
So how chits work is you might send 10 chits, but whatever is good will be marked substantively as in 1. If the next chit is good, then it's 1 plus 1.
Of chits like the more amount of chits, the more quality.
No? Quality. Quality of the chits. How many?
I have been counting from day 1.
How many?
Up until now it's 9.
It's
No. Can I?
We've discussed so many solutions and problems about it, and now we have a proper working paper about it. So it wouldn't make sense if we didn't vote upon it, honestly. We have so many problems like why they're violating licensing, regulating everything, laws that regulate for especially for PMSCs. So rights can get violated. Most of the solutions which most of the countries suggested here are on the working paper. So now it's up to us if we want to have an actual future where we have even CPMSCs are very important for the countries who do not have vacuums in their security and they fill up those vacuums. So now we may PMSCs are a positive towards a brighter future. Thank you.
The UK would like to second all the previous delegates. Currently sums up the current consensus, while in PMSCs.
I request each one of you delegates to please maintain the decorum of the hall.
Good evening, honorable delegates, the esteemed executive board, and our director of VBIT and director of student affairs, and our distinguished guests. As we have come to the end of the momentous occasion, I would like to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for your participation in the conference of VBIT's Model United Nations. I would now request our faculty coordinator, Dr. Sirish Kumar Sir, Director of Student Affairs, Dr. Swaruparani Ma'am, Director of VBIT, Dr. YVSSS Prasad Rao Sir, and our guests, Kacham Satyanarayana and Dr. Devendra Bandari, to come on to the dais and take their seats. Now I would like to call upon the stage the Director of VBIT, Dr. YVSSS Prasad Rao Sir, to speak a few words.
Esteemed guests of the evening, Director, Student Affairs, VBIT, Faculty Coordinator of momentous occasion, and the special delegates from all over the country, and coordinators, guests and invitees. I think some parents are also are available here. Good afternoon to each one of you. I, on behalf of VBIT, very much thankful to all the delegates who have taken pains to come all over the country.
Jai Balaya.
Historical city, Hyderabad, to participate in the 3-day event on Model United Nations. In fact, VBIT has been conducting this prestigious event for the last 3 years. This is version 3.0. I am told that more than 130 delegates participated in this 3-day conference. I am also very happy to note that the delegates include a wide spectrum of students ranging from school-going children, +2 children, degree students, as well as professional college students, a wide spectrum of students. I am really thrilled to know that though they are very young, the school children have done wonderful job during these 3 days. I am sure those children will come up in their life very nicely. Coming to the topic, you are all aware that it is a prestigious international body, United Nations, having several organs in order to serve the various sectors of people all over the world. Amongst those organs, the coordinators have very rightly, very aptly chosen 3 themes. The first theme is the world security and disarmament. Today, if you see, there is a security problem everywhere. There is a fear of using the dreadful weapons, one country on another country. Today, if you see the war going on between Russia and Ukraine, I think for the last 1 year or slightly more than 1 year, as a result, the common man is suffering. Thank God, so far, no deadly weapon has been used by either of these 2 countries. If at all such thing happens, it may lead to 3rd World War. The world has witnessed 2 world wars. Some countries like Japan suffered like anything. Once a world war takes place, the entire economy goes back by more than 2 decades. In order to bridge that, it takes generations, not couple of years or months, it takes generations. The best thing is how to prevent that. It is this forum from the United Nations which continuously put effort to convince the member countries not to resort to this type of things. And if at all there is a dispute between 2 countries, how to resolve those disputes amicably. I am sure this particular theme you all must have discussed at length and resolved some of the important items. The second thing is political committee. Today, again, it is very relevant in today's economy. You all must have heard that world is now moving through what is called a recession. The recession, if it comes, in fact, even the signs of recession itself, many people are losing their jobs. If you open your Hindu or Business Times, etc., you can see Amazon has cut 20,000 jobs, Infosys has cut so many jobs, TCS has cut so many jobs, Microsoft, Google, all these popular MNCs, they are drastically reducing the workforce. And many companies are shifting the people from the project to the bench. That is one step before telling goodbye. Sending somebody to bench means it is one step before telling them, okay, thank you for your good services. And this is happening because of the economic crisis. What is the crisis? What are the root causes of this crisis? How to overcome this recession, and what is that we have to do? What are the challenges before this? I'm sure the committee, the executive committee pertaining to this theme must have discussed well in detail and resolved some of the issues. The third issue, that is your fundamental rights, human rights. Again, today we are hearing that in this particular place, this type of things are happening, human rights are violated, etc., etc. What is this human right? Why at all some human rights are getting violated? Is it violated unintentionally? Is it violated intentionally? Or it is happening in the process? Okay, there are several issues to discuss on this. I am sure the committee pertaining to this particular theme must have discussed all those things well in detail and resolved the things. I am very happy to note that these young children, young generations have got such beautiful thoughts, and I am sure if your thoughts are channelized, if your energies are channelized in the right direction, you will become an asset for this great nation. And one more important thing I would like to share with all of you is, ours is the biggest democratic country in the world. Till couple of days, couple of months, we are number 2 in population. Now we became number one. We have surpassed China also. Ours is the biggest country in the world, biggest democracy in the world, having biggest written constitution in this world. And you are all the workforce. You are all the young workforce for this great nation. If your energies are channelized in the positive direction, I have no doubt that you will become an asset for this great country, and you will have a great opportunity to serve this great nation and the society at large. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Valuable words. Over the past 3 days, we have witnessed inspiring discussions, debates, and collaborations aimed at addressing some of the world's most pressing issues. Your commitment to finding innovative solutions while respecting diverse perspectives have been truly commendable. The discussions involved in the VBIT's Model United Nations simulated the proceedings of the United Nations, where participants represented countries and discussed various global issues such as international peace, economic reforms, human rights, and conflict resolution. In the course of MUN negotiations, delegates were engaged in the debates and resolutions to find the global issues. They worked to create policies that are beneficial to their countries while also considering the interests of the other countries and the international community as a whole. I believe that the delegates enjoyed the discussions and obtained new insights from the esteemed executive board. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the generous support of our events media partner, V3 News. Without further ado, it gives me a great pleasure to invite Kacham Satyanarayana Sir, the chairman of V3 News, at the stage and speak a few words.
Thank you, Shreya. వేదిక మీద ఉన్నటువంటి VBIT మేనేజ్మెంట్కి సంబంధించినటువంటి అథెంటిక్ పర్సనాలిటీస్ మరియు colleague Mr. Devendra Bhandari and media director Sai, all of friends. Actually, ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ గురించి మాకు పూర్తిగా ఐడియా లేదు. ఫస్ట్ శ్రేయ వచ్చి వాళ్ళ డాడీ మేము ఒక 30 years ఫ్రెండ్స్. మిస్టర్ శర్మ సిటెడ్ ఆన్ లాస్ట్ బెంచ్. కూర్చో. మోడర్న్ యునైటెడ్ నేషన్స్ అనే ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ గురించి వినడం ఫస్ట్ టైం మేము. సరే, ఓవరాల్గా చదువుకునే రోజుల్లో మాకు ఇంత ఆపర్చునిటీస్ రాకపోవచ్చు. కాకపోతే మేము 1985లో మేము చదువుకున్నటువంటి రోజుల్లో డిగ్రీలో ఎన్ఎస్ఎస్ క్యాంప్ ఉండేది. సేమ్ జస్ట్ లైక్ ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఎట్లా సెమినార్స్ కండక్ట్ చేస్తారో మేము సోషల్ సర్వీస్ చేసేవాళ్ళం. ఇప్పుడున్నటువంటి మారిన కాలమాన ప్రకారం కాలేజెస్ పేరెంట్స్ కూడా చాలా మార్పు వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఇంటర్మీడియట్ కాగానే 10th కాగానే ఇంటర్మీడియట్లో ఇంజనీరింగ్ మెడిసిన్ ప్రతి ఒక్క పేరెంట్ యొక్క ఆలోచన విధానం రెండు సెక్టార్స్, ఐదర్ ఇంజనీర్ ఆర్ డాక్టర్. థర్డ్ స్టెప్ వచ్చేస్తే కామర్స్ మీద తీసుకున్నటువంటి, కానీ సోషల్ మీద కానివ్వండి, సోషాలజీ మీద కానివ్వండి, చరిత్ర గురించి తెలుసుకోవాలని ఒక ఆలోచన దాదాపుగా ఒక 30 సంవత్సరాలు అయి ఉండొచ్చు. పేరెంట్స్కి కానీ పిల్లలకు కానీ లేనటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో మనం ఈరోజు ఉన్నాం. కొంతమేర హైదరాబాద్కు అర్బనైజ్డ్ పీపుల్స్ ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో చార్టర్డ్ అకౌంటెంట్స్ ఆ రకమైనటువంటి వ్యవస్థని సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని పోతున్నటువంటి తరుణంలో యునైటెడ్ నేషన్లో ఏం జరుగుతున్నది, యునైటెడ్ నేషన్స్కు మనకున్న రిలేషన్స్ ఏంది, యాక్చువల్లీ కంట్రీ అంటే ఏంది, కంట్రీలో ఉండాల్సినటువంటి సమానతలు ఏంది, రైట్స్ ఏంది, రూల్స్ ఏంది, ఏ రకమైనటువంటి రూల్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఏ రకమైన ఫండమెంటల్ రైట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, వయలేషన్ ఆఫ్ రూల్స్ ఏ రకంగా ఉన్నాయనే దాంట్లో బహుశా అంటే 3rd ఇయర్ అని చెప్పాడు ఇంతకుముందు సార్, గ్రేట్ అన్నట్టు. VBIT వాళ్ళు ఒక పెద్ద ఛాలెంజ్, ఇది పెద్ద టాస్క్. జనరల్గా ఇంజనీరింగ్ కాలేజ్లో ఏమైనా ఈవెంట్ అంటే ఇప్పుడున్నటువంటి యూత్ కావాల్సింది పోస్ట్ కల్చర్, డ్యాన్స్ ప్రోగ్రాంలో లేకపోతే ఫన్నీ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేసేటువంటి సందర్భంలో దాదాపుగా 130 మంది ఈరోజు అటెండ్ అయ్యారంటే గ్రేట్ ఆపర్చునిటీ మీకు మీ కాలేజీ వాళ్ళు ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. అంటే ప్రపంచం మీద ఈరోజు జరుగుతున్నటువంటి మానవాళికి సంబంధించి ముఖ్యంగా నేను ఎథిక్స్ గురించి చెప్తాను. ఎథిక్స్ అనేవి, మొరాలిటీ ఎథిక్స్ అనేది ఈ రోజుల్లో పరిస్థితుల్లో పోయినాయి. చాలామంది ఉమ్మడి కుటుంబ వ్యవస్థ లేనటువంటి పరిస్థితులు ఉన్నాం. నేను, నా భార్య, నాకు 2 పిల్లలు, అంతే తప్ప ఈరోజు పట్టించుకున్నటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో లేనటువంటి సిచ్యువేషన్లో ఉన్నాం. ఇంకొకటి భారతదేశానికి వస్తే ఇప్పుడే చెప్పిండు, కంట్రీలో మనం మొత్తం యావత్ ప్రపంచంలో అత్యధిక జనాభా కలిగిన దేశం ఏదంటే భారతదేశం. 142,86,00,000 మంది. దేంట్లో ప్రగతి సాధించడం అంటే దాంట్లో ప్రగతి సాధించడం. నెక్స్ట్ చైనా, అన్నిటికేమో చైనా తోటి పోటీ పడుతున్నాం, దీంట్లో చైనాని దాటేసిపోయినాం. సరే, అదొక పార్ట్. సేమ్ టైం రాజ్యాంగం మీద విలువలు, డెమోక్రసీ, యావత్ ప్రపంచంలో ఒక ప్రజాస్వామ్యం మీద నమ్మకం ఉందంటే అది భారతదేశం మీద ఉంది. ఈరోజు యావత్ ప్రపంచం కూడా భారతదేశం వైపు చూస్తుందంటే మన దగ్గర ఉన్నటువంటి డెమోక్రసీ ఏ రకంగా ఉన్నది, ఒక సమానతలు పూర్తి స్థాయిలో ఉన్నాయి అనే ఒక నమ్మకంతో విశ్వగురువులాగా మనని భారతదేశాన్ని చూస్తున్నటువంటి విషయాన్ని మనం గమనించుకోవాలి. ముఖ్యంగా యూత్దే ఈరోజు ఉన్నటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో ప్రధాన పాత్ర యూత్లో కూడా జెండర్ డిస్క్రిమినేషన్ లేకపోతే ఈక్వాలిటీ దాంట్లో మనకు ఇంకా కల్చర్ మీద కొంత అవగాహన ఉన్నది. కల్చర్ని కాపాడుతున్నది మొత్తం ప్రపంచం మీద భారతదేశం యొక్క సంస్కృతి సాంప్రదాయాల్ని కాపాడుతున్నటువంటి నేపథ్యంలో యువత పక్కదారో పెడదారో పోకుండా కాపాడాల్సినటువంటి బాధ్యత కూడా చాలా ఇంజనీరింగ్ కాలేజీల మీద ప్రభావితం చూపిస్తుంది. పర్టికులర్గా టీనేజ్ మీ ఏజ్ వాళ్ళకు జనరల్గా ఆబ్వియస్గా షోకిన్ ఉంటుంది. దాన్ని సైడ్ ట్రాక్ పెట్టకుండా ఒక మంచి వ్యవస్థ కనుక ఉపయోగించుకోగలిగితే అద్భుతమైనటువంటి విజయాలు సాధించవచ్చు. ప్రపంచం మొత్తంలో ఈరోజు ఇస్రో కావచ్చు, నాసా కావచ్చు, ఎక్కడి నుండి అయినా భారతదేశంకి సంబంధించినటువంటి పిల్లలే ఈరోజు యూత్ డామినేట్ చేసేటువంటి పరిస్థితిలో ఉన్నాం. దాని అద్భుతంగా భారతదేశానికి సంబంధించినటువంటి వ్యవస్థ. ఈరోజు ఉన్నటువంటి పేరెంట్స్ ఎవరు చూసినా ఇంజనీరింగ్ అయిపోగానే ఎక్కడ పోతున్నట్టే అమెరికాను, కెనడా, లేకపోతే బ్రిటన్, ఈ పరిస్థితిలో పోతున్నాం. దేనికోసం పోతున్నాం అంటే అక్కడ మనకు 100K వస్తుంది, 200K వస్తుంది. ఎవరికి ఆ డబ్బు ఎంత వస్తుంది, అక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాం మనం, దాని తర్వాత ఏం జరుగుతుంది అనేది ఎవరికి తెలియదు. మెయిన్ చూస్తున్నాం అంతా అమెరికా పోవాలి, లేకపోతే నా ఫ్రెండ్ ఉన్నాడు, ఆ పక్కింటి ఆయన కొడుకు అమెరికాలో ఉన్నాడు, ఆ పక్కింటి ఆయన బిడ్డ ఆస్ట్రేలియాలో ఉంది, కెనడాలో ఉంది, నేను కూడా పంపిస్తున్నాను. ఎందుకు పంపిస్తున్నా అంటే తెలియదు. పక్కింటి పంపించి నేను పంపించాలి, లేదంటే ఆ తెలుగు టీవీ సీరియల్ చూడాలి, అక్కడ జరిగేటని చూసి ఇంట్లో పేరెంట్స్ ముచ్చట పెట్టాలి, చేయాలి. అది కాకుండా పరిశోధనల మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయాల్సినటువంటి ఆవశ్యకత. చరిత్రని మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి ప్రతిదానికి ఎగ్జాంపుల్గా మనం భగవద్గీత తీసుకుంటాం. చాలా వరకు యూత్ని మొబిలైజ్ చేసిన దాంట్లో కావచ్చు, యూత్ని మోటివేట్ చేసిన దాంట్లో వివేకానందని ఆదర్శంగా తీసుకోవాల్సినటువంటి ఆవశ్యకత ఉంది. ప్రపంచం మొత్తం బుద్ధుని ఆదర్శంగా తీసుకుంటాం, కానీ మనం ఎక్కడ కూడా బుద్ధిజం చూపాం. మన బుద్ధిజం చూపిస్తాం కానీ బుద్ధిజం అనేది చూపాం. అంటే ఆ కాలమాన ప్రకారం, అంటే ఆ రోజు ఉన్నటువంటి పరిస్థితులు, ఈ రోజు ఉన్నటువంటి పరిస్థితులు, అద్భుతమైనటువంటి ఒక భాషని మనకి ఇచ్చినటువంటి, మాతృభాషను ఇచ్చినటువంటి సందర్భంలో మనం ఉండాల్సినటువంటి రీతిలో ఉండకుండా పోతున్నటువంటి నేపథ్యంలో యునైటెడ్ నేషన్స్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్, యుఎన్ఓ కావచ్చు, యునెస్కో కావచ్చు, యూనిసెఫ్ కావచ్చు, ఇవన్నీ ప్రపంచానికి ఒక దిక్సూచిలాగా పనిచేస్తుంటాయి. ఏదైనా విపత్కరమైనటువంటి పరిస్థితి వచ్చినా, ఇంతకుముందు సార్ చెప్పిండు, రష్యా ఉక్రెయిన్ యుద్ధం వస్తే దాన్ని మానిటరింగ్ చేసే దాంట్లో కావచ్చు, లేకపోతే ఒక పెద్దన్న పాత్ర వహించే దాంట్లో యుఎన్ఓ కీలకంగా ఉంటుంది. ఆ యుఎన్ఓకు అనుబంధంగానే మనం చేస్తున్నటువంటి ఒక సాహసం ఇది. అంటే ఎక్కడో దగ్గర ఎవరో ఒకరు పని మొదలు పెడతా కానీ దాన్ని అంతిమంగా రిజల్ట్ తీసుకుపోయే స్థాయికి తీసుకోవాల్సినటువంటి ఆవశ్యకత మీ మీద ఉన్నది, యూత్ మీద. కాబట్టి దయచేసి డెమోక్రసీ మీద కావచ్చు, పార్లమెంటరీ వ్యవస్థ మీద కావచ్చు, మనకు ఉన్నటువంటి కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ రైట్స్ కావచ్చు, హ్యూమన్ రైట్స్ కావచ్చు, దానికి కావాల్సిన హక్కులు ఏ రకమైన ఉన్నాయి, హ్యూమన్ రైట్స్ ఏ రకంగా వయలేట్ అవుతున్నాయి, దాన్ని కాపాడాల్సినటువంటి బాధ్యత ప్రతి ఒక్క పౌరుడి మీద ఉంది. ఏ పొలిటీషియన్ మీదనో, పొలిటికల్ లీడర్ మీదనో, పోలీస్ అతని మీదనో, ఒక అడ్వకేట్ దగ్గరనో ఉండాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం లేదు. యాజ్ ఎ కామన్ మ్యాన్గా నువ్వు క్వశ్చన్ చేసేటువంటి రైట్ నీకున్నది. ఆర్టికల్ 19 ప్రకారం భావస్వేచ్ఛ ఎంత అవసరమో దాన్ని మితిమీరకుండా వాడాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం కూడా, ఆ ఆవశ్యకత కూడా మనకున్నది. కాబట్టి పిల్లలు మీ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అయిపోగానే సరే, ఇప్పుడు ఎవరి ఆలోచన విధానం వాళ్ళ మ్యాథమెటికల్గా నాకు ఇంత రావాలి, ఇంత ఖర్చు పెట్టాలనే ఒక ఆలోచన ఉండొచ్చు. కానీ సమాజానికి ఏ రకంగా ఉపయోగపడుతున్నాం, మన పేరెంట్స్కి ఏ రకంగా ఉపయోగపడుతున్నాం, సమాజం ద్వారా మనం సమాజ ప్రగతి ద్వారా దేశానికి ఏ రకంగా మనం ఉపయోగపడుతున్నాం, సేవ చేస్తున్నాం. మానవ జన్మ అద్భుతమైన జన్మ మళ్ళీ రాదు ఇది. కాబట్టి వచ్చినటువంటి ఆ 70-75 సంవత్సరాల డెస్టినీలో మనకంటూ ఒక ఎక్స్పైరీ పీరియడ్ అయితే ఉన్నది. ఆ పీరియడ్లో మనం ఏం చేయగలుగుతున్నాం, ఏం చేయాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం ఉన్నది, భూమి మీదకి వచ్చేందుకు మనం ఏం చేయాలి. ఎంతసేపు డబ్బు సంపాదిద్దామనే ఒక ఆలోచన కాకుండా, శాలరీ సంపాదించుకుందామనే ఆలోచన కాకుండా, సమాజానికి ఉపయోగపడే విధంగా ఎన్నో కొత్త విశేషాలు కనిపెట్టవచ్చు. రాకెట్ యుగంలో మనం పనిచేస్తున్నటువంటి నేపథ్యంలో రాకెట్ లాగా దూసుకుపోయి దాన్ని ఒక సద్మార్గంలో చూడాల్సినటువంటి బాధ్యత అంతా యువత మీద ఉంది. కాబట్టి ఆ యువతని ఒక మంచి డైరెక్షన్లో మీ కాలేజ్ యాజమాన్యం VBIT వాళ్ళు ఒక టఫెస్ట్ జాబ్ ఇది. యునైటెడ్ నేషన్స్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్కు అనుబంధంగా ఒక మోడర్న్ యునైటెడ్ నేషన్స్ని చేయాలన్నటువంటి నేపథ్యంలో ఇక్కడికి వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు దాంట్లో బహుశా నేను అప్పటి నుండి ఒక 1 hour నుండి అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తున్నా, ఎంతమంది పొలిటీషియన్స్ అవుతారంటే దాదాపు ఇక్కడ ఉన్న 10% కూడా చెప్పకపోవచ్చు. ఇంజనీర్లు అవుతారా, డాక్టర్లు అవుతారా, లేకపోతే సైంటిస్టులు అవుతారా, అత్యధిక సాలరీ మేము తీసుకుంటామని దాంట్లో అందరు చేతులు ఎత్తుండొచ్చు. కానీ ఎవరైనా పొలిటీషియన్స్ అయ్యే ఆలోచనలు ఉన్నారో ఇలా ఉన్న వాళ్ళు? ఒక్కరు, ఓన్లీ 100%, 2%. ఎందుకోసం అయిదామనుకుంటారు? సూపర్. ఏం చదువుతున్నావు? ఏం చదువుతున్నావు? ఓ సూపర్ సూపర్, గ్రేట్. ఒకసారి క్లాప్స్ కొట్టాలి అబ్బాయి. అంటే అతని కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ లెవెల్స్. మీరు ఇంజనీరింగ్లో వచ్చి కూడా ఎవరు మేము కాలేము అని చెప్పి జస్ట్ 10th క్లాస్ స్టూడెంట్ ఉన్నాడంటే ఒక కమిట్మెంట్ ఉన్నట్టు, అంటే ఒక ఆలోచన విధానం ఉన్నది. సో దాన్ని ప్యూర్గా అంటే నిజంగా కూడా నేషన్ కోసం కావాల్సినటువంటి వాళ్ళు యూతే. ఈ రోజు ఉన్నటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో పాలిటిక్స్లోకి ఎవరు వస్తలేరు. కాబట్టి ఆ పొలిటికల్ సిస్టంలో కూడా ఇన్వాల్వ్ అయితే దేశానికి ఎంతో సేవ చేయొచ్చు, సమాజానికి కూడా సేవ చేయొచ్చు అనే దాంట్లో మీరు ముందుండాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం ఉన్నది. అలాగే కాలేజీ యజమాని వారికి మరొకసారి ఈ అవకాశం కల్పించినందుకు పర్టికులర్గా మా శ్రేయ అండ్ టీం వాళ్ళకు కూడా ఐఎమ్ రియల్లీ థ్యాంక్ఫుల్ టు యూ అండ్ కాలేజ్ వాళ్ళకు కూడా థ్యాంక్ యూ వన్ అండ్ ఆల్.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring speech. Not only me, every person sitting here got inspired from your speech. Now I would like to invite Lion Dr. Vandari, District Leo Coordinator, Profession Ophthalmologist, Doctorate in Social Services, to speak a few words.
Thank you, Shreya. Dignitaries on the dais, fellow children, students in the audience. When I say hi, you must say hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hi. Good. In addition to this, what Sir and Kacham was saying regarding the young generation, just I want to give some percentage regarding that one. World population, hi. You are not saying hello. So world population, youth world population is 18%. From that, India's population is 8.7. So almost all 50% of youth are from India. What do you mean by that? That means you can rule the world. You are the main background. You are the main base. You are having so much of energy levels. You can rule the world. This is a very important for you. And second, hello. Are you enjoyed with these 3 days? You learned 3 days? Good. This 3 days success is because of whom? With the coordination of everyone. Your principal, your coordinators, your lecturers, your volunteers, your students, all are involved, and you made this as success. So life, every time you must make everything as a success in future also. And I request everyone for this success, keep your hands like this. Please, hello. For this success, you tap on yourself, say thank you everyone. Thank you very much.
For making the event successful. Now the conference's most anticipated moment has finally arrived. I can see many of you are so eager about this moment. It is an honor to stand before you tonight to celebrate the accomplishments of some truly outstanding individuals. Today, we recognize and honor the hard work, dedication, and outstanding contributions of the award winners of VBIT MUN 3.0. These individuals have demonstrated exceptional leadership, critical thinking, and diplomatic skills throughout this conference. Their passion and dedication towards the pursuit of global solutions to the most pressing issues of our time have been truly inspiring. Now, I would like to call upon the stage the Executive Board of United Nations Human Rights Council to present the certificates to the winners of the committee.
Hello, delegates. Okay, first of all, congratulations to all the first-timers in this particular conference of the 3rd edition of VBIT MUN. I hope you all learned something and hope to see you all in the future MUNs as well. So, in UNHRC, it was a great committee and it was complete and 100% effort from all the delegates. Firstly, huge applause to all the delegates of the UNHRC. So, research was good, the competition was neck to neck, and it was very tough for us to evaluate who is going to win what. So, thank you for testing our, marking scheme. So, congratulations to all the winners, and also all the best to everyone for your upcoming MUN experience. So, we'll be going. So we have one verbal mention, 2 special mention, 3 special mentions, 2 high commendation, and 1 best delegate. So the verbal mention is United Arab Emirates. 1 to 4. Special mention in particular order. Special mention 1 goes to Delegate of Japan. Delegate, please stand on. Thank you. Only special mention. Special mention 2 is Delegate of Vietnam. And special mention 3 is Delegate of Syria.
Good evening to everybody present in the hall. Firstly, I'd like to thank the VBIT MUN Society for taking up this responsibility of hosting a beautiful conference. A huge shout out to Rishi standing right there. He's been doing a lot of MUNs, lot of renowned, lot of respectful MUNs since a lot of years, and we really wish Rishi continues to do that. And talking about the committee, it was a short committee but the loudest, I could say, because the competition was neck to neck till the last minute. And the only point of difference that we could find was the documentation. And even at the end, we were talking about how many votes did one delegate gather, even such minute, how many chits did this delegate give, did these chits have enough substance in it or not. So the criteria for us to even mark all the delegates was so intrinsic, and that is a really good thing for a committee. So thank you for everybody who prepared so much for these 3 days and for giving us the best time possible. Now, talking about the awards, high commendation in a particular order. High commendation 2 goes to Saudi Arabia. Goes to USA. Before moving on, I also would like to bring to your notice that we've seen a lot of youngsters, 12 years old, 13 years old, coming to college, MUNs, and giving their best chance. So I really hope all of you still continue to do what you're doing, because there is complete learning and growth here. And also a big shout out to Kamlesh and Satvik for being the most knowledgeable EB here, and thank you.
For the best delegate award, I would like to mention that this is the person like I have been training since a very long time, and it makes me very proud seeing this person becoming the delegate I always wanted him to be. And the best delegate goes to the delegate of China.
Thank you. I would like to call upon the stage the Executive Board of Disarmament and International Security Committee to present the certificates to the winners.
Firstly, thank you VBIT MUN, and more specifically thank you Rishi Belamkonda for giving us this opportunity to be part of the DISEC Executive Board. And I would also like to thank Harihar, the Secretary General of the conference, for hosting such a successful and well-organized conference. And more specifically, I would want to thank one person from the Secretariat, Harshit. Okay, every day he was making sure that we had our food at the right time. Okay, just small round of applause to him. And finally, the OC of our committee, who was basically passing chits around left and right, and I would want to thank them by name, Arun, Hamsika, Vishnu and Harsha. A huge round of applause to these people. They worked very hard. And finally, my chairperson, Adarsh Perry, one of the best chairs out there, and honored to be working with him. I'd also want to briefly talk about the committee. Let it be in terms of the technical discussions that we are having, or let it be in terms of accountability, legalities, legislation, or one of the delegates, a Grand Ducky, wanted to get a whole new treaty into DISEC, which was a little, out of our thing also, but it was great. But I'm pretty sure most of the people here will say, so what? So I'll just leave it there. I'll then pass it on to my chairperson.
Entire organizing committee, secretariat, and Harihar. Oh, and also the big man there, Rishi Belamkonda. Alright, firstly for the verbals, please stand in your respective places. Delegate of United Kingdom, Delegate of the Russian Federation, Delegate of the Republic of Korea, and the Delegate of United States of America. Alright, moving on, we have two honorable mentions. Please come to the dais to take your certificates. Delegate of Spain and Delegate of Ukraine. Alright, India, Delegate of Australia, and the Delegate of the French Republic. Alright, moving on to the High Commendation. No. Okay, Director, sir. Alright, moving on to the Best Delegate. There's something that I would like to mention. At some point in day 2, all of us were very sleepy, including us, the delegates. And we were going through a moderated caucus and this delegate was asleep. His turn came up. He raises a point of parliamentary inquiry asking what the topic is and then just starts off on his speech. And that is something very incredible that I am very proud of. The delegate of Luxembourg. I request Director Sir to please hand over the award.
To call upon the stage the executive board of. Can you have any guesses? Okay. All India political party meet to present the certificates to the winners to the committee.
Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais and to one and all present here. I would first like to thank the management of VBIT and the VBIT MUN Society for having me here, and especially Rishi for having me here again after the previous version. Insofar as the committee is concerned, a brief feedback with respect to the committee is that we had 2 agendas. One primarily relating to the economic reforms with respect to the MSMEs and the PLI scheme, and the second related to the reforms in the bureaucracy and the bureaucratic setup that we have presently in India. The committee deliberated on both the agendas, and since they exhausted most of the research and most of the topics that they could speak upon both the agendas, we had to move into a crisis wherein we had crisis simulations with respect to the agendas and the emergency, which involved constitutional provisions as well. So it involved interpretation of certain provisions of the constitution, which the committee really did well with respect to what the interpretation relates to. With respect to the awards, before we move on to that, I would like to hand over the floor to Mr. Naman.
भारत माता की भारत माता की वंदे वंदे अंदरिकी नमस्काram. At the outset, I'd like to thank the dignitaries on the dais, and I'd like to thank Rishi Bellamkonda, the entire advisory board members of VBIT, the secretariat members, Secretary General Hari, and the entire team for having me here for the second time. Last time when we came here, VBIT will always have a symbolic significance because this was the first offline MUN in India after the pandemic. We set the benchmark and we have come back a full circle here, and it's so glad that we have had a same reunion. Last time too, a couple of months ago when we were in a similar conference with a similar board, I've always held that in high regard that whenever we are here, it's not just like we are coming for an MUN simulation and we are just discussing, debating for 3 days. It is more like a family reunion for each one of us here. Because everyone is like known to each other. We've had such great times, great memories. And this is what Hyderabad MUN Circuit truly stands for. This is what Hyderabad MUN Circuit should represent. And the unity, the sense of fraternity and the dignity, the way in which we have carried ourselves, that should be the benchmark, not allowing the external forces, the toxic elements to break us apart. And with that, I would want to announce that, I don't know from where the rumor came in, who seeped in, who sowed the seeds. I am not retiring anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen. The time has come wherein with the little share I have or with the little amount of time we have in the circuit, it's time for all of us and to lead the way forward and set an example, to the rest of the country, to other MUN circuits, to people who are coming in, people who are believing in, to show that this is where we learn, we engage, we build a camaraderie with a sense of fraternity, with a sense of unity, with a sense of dignity, with a sense of decency, promoting education. Because I've always held MUN's youth parliaments as that platform which promotes leadership, skill development, capacity building in the highest order, and these ideals should truly represent, and we should be the torch bearers of these ideals and nothing else. And without further ado, I'd now like to move into the awards. Special mention goes to the parliamentarian who represented Asaduddin Owaisi. High commendation 2 goes to the member who represented Kalvakuntala Taraka Ramarao. Goes to the member who represented Narendra Modi. With that, we come to an end of the awards. No best delegate, ladies and gentlemen. With that, let's keep working hard. Let's place nation above other priorities. Bolo Bharat Mata ki. Thank you very much. Vande Mataram.
Thank you. Last but not the least, I would like to call upon the stage the Executive Board of International Press to present the certificate to the winners of the committee.
Second time offline and first time we had online. Fortunately, I could attend all three of them, and I have been part of EB in two of them, and in one I was part of like an illegal advisor. So yeah, very happy to be here year over year and seeing all the new faces and seeing everyone grow. Like Siddharth, Prerna, Satvik has been influential, and everyone in the OC. I think this time we had a huge contribution from OC as well. Honestly, I know very few names in OC, but I can pick up a couple like Harsh, Shreya, and I'm sorry, I really don't know anyone's name in OC, but yeah, a huge shout out to all the OC members. I think you all can pat on your backs, and it'll be great if you all can give a huge clap for them. Next, moving on to our committee. So, International Press is a very unique committee, right, where you have reporters and photographers, and usually the EB hates them being in their committees for some weird reason, and somehow we come out victorious always with great articles and great pictures. So going ahead, let's start with photography. Unfortunately, we could not have director of photography and head of international press here because they had personal commitments. They just left just before the closing ceremony. Apologies for that. So let's start with special mentions for photography. In no order, specmans for photography go to Dhruti Chaudhary and Ram Kanumali. Who got the high com in photography? Unfortunately, it's not Gokul. Just thought to join on the second day. Going to the best photographer. Any guesses now? I think you all are right now. The best photographer goes to Sai Gokul. I would like to request Bhandari sir to give away the award. Then moving on to the awards for reporters. So we only have 2 awards, no specmans, no honorable mentions, nothing. It's just best reporter and 1 high com. So let's start with high com. Can anyone guess who got the high com? Okay, so both awards are from same committee. So now it makes a lot more easier. No, sorry. The high com for, high com for reporting goes to Faraz. Okay, I gave a very huge hint in the first line. So the best reporter for VBIT MUN 3.0 goes to Preeti. Okay, with the award. Thank you, sir. Thank the secretariat members of VBIT MUN 3.0. I think you all have pulled off a great conference and it's almost coming to an end. So great job to you all. And at the end, I would like to thank all the dignitaries on the dais and everyone who is part of VBIT MUN Society and VBIT Vignan Bharati institutions. Thank you very much. Back to you, Shreya.
Thank you. I request Siddharth Praneeth ex-section to give the Best Delegation Award.
This is on the best delegation. Okay, you're all right. The best delegation goes to DPRK.
Your contributions to this conference have been invaluable and we look forward to seeing the impact that you will continue to make it in the world. Now I would like to invite our Secretary General Harihar Durki to speak a few words.
Good evening everyone. On the behalf of the whole VBIT MUN 3.0 team, I would like to extend a warm and heartfelt thank you to the dignitaries on the dais and to everyone who made this conference a huge success. First and foremost, I would like to thank our college, VBIT, for their constant support and contributions to the success of this conference. It is their tireless efforts and the support that made this conference possible. So we would also like to thank our media partners for their live coverage throughout the 3 days and their effort to make the conference more wide. So on a personal note, I would like to mention a member from the team. This is on a personal note. I would like to give him an award. So just to recognize his efforts for the conference to happen. So to the best secretariat member of the VBIT MUN 3.0 goes to Vishnu. And to all our EP members, I would like to extend a special thanks for being there even in your busy schedules. And At the last, I would like to thank our advisory board members, mainly being Rishi Bellamkonda, Zishan Faiz, and Siddharth Praneeth. So, as it's time for everyone to go apart. I would like to urge you to continue your pursuit of your commitment towards participating in all MUNs in the future. And remember the lessons that you have learned today and carry them forward in your future endeavors. With that being said, I, Harihar Durki, the Secretary General of VBIT MUN 3.0, declare this conference closed.